afternoon, everyone, and I'm delighted to be here. I'm not waiting for phone calls, but I do have some notes here. Ludine, thank you very much for your friendship and for the request to kind of speak to young people, something I love to do. To all of the board members who are committed to the organization and the ideals of the organization, and to the next generation of scholars and community leaders, I applaud you and so much appreciate it. To all of the parents, and I am a parent, I have a daughter at Spelman. Congratulations to all of you. It takes a lot to raise a successful young person, particularly in this time. And the moms in particular are not, it takes a lot. I also have a son, so I know it takes a lot. To all of the young scholars, congratulations to you. I am going to talk to you the way I talk to my children. I have some things that I'd like to share with you about my journey and about the journey that we hope you'll have and that you can choose to have. And so, again, thank you all. I'm delighted to be here. When leaders and teachers and members of the clergy and others, your parents who love you, say, you can choose to be excellent, what does that mean? What does that really mean? What does it mean? Well, first of all, excellence is a choice. I mean, you can choose to be someone who just gets by, or you can choose to impact the world in a positive way. And by virtue of your being here, by virtue of your getting this far, by virtue of your commitment to further your education, I'm going to assume that you choose excellence. So what does that really mean, and what advice, what thoughts, what words of both encouragement and caution, that I'd like to share with you today. First of all, let's fast forward 4 or 5 years from now. You've now finished, and I say 5 years because some of you may be entering into different programs. I don't know that. But let's fast forward 4 or 5 years from now. And what has happened? Well, I hope that you have been successful in your academic careers and you've done extremely well. And you've done well because you've applied yourselves, you've asked for help when you need it, you've avoided situations that will negatively impact your life, you have developed networks of friends who enhance the most positive in you and who support you. You've reached out to adults who care about you, and you've discovered in yourself a passion for something important, whether that is writing, or speaking, or leading, or math, or producing movies, or whatever. You've discovered a passion that's positive, and you've begun to figure out how you're going to use that love, that passion, to not only satisfy your God-given talent, but to bring something positive and impactful to our community and to the world. Some of the things that I want to talk about you're doing in the next 4 or 5 years, in no particular order. You know, I know that your parents and teachers are telling you to focus and to do well, but let me just kind of break that down a little bit. What does that really mean? You know, you are leaving, for the most part, I don't know that anybody's staying home. I'm assuming all of you are going away somewhere and going to live on campus. Is that not correct? All right, so you're leaving the protection and the advice and the fortress of your family life. where moms and dads and uncles and aunts and grandparents and others guide you and shape you and protect you and counsel you. So now you have to take all that you've heard and you have to do it for yourself. You have to make sure that that moral compass inside of you is working all the time. There are a lot of potential distractions when you go off to school. There are a lot of potential distractions after school. When in the adult life, there are people and situations and things that look great, but they are not. And so my very first encouragement and cautionary note is to listen to all of the good advice and keep it inside of you always that your parents and grandparents and all the people who love you and want the best for you have told you. And don't get distracted by negative people, negative situations, things that you know will take you in the wrong direction. I was going to talk about this later, but so I don't miss it. I want to talk about social media. I want to talk about social media. I've had the occasion over the years to hire and fire or, consider people for work or not. And as social media has developed, one of the things that particularly large employers do is they check Facebook and Twitter accounts and all of that. Now, the first thing I want to tell you is, you shouldn't be doing anything with anybody that will negatively impact your reputation. But for sure, nothing in social media, which never goes away, by the way, ever goes away, it's there forever. Nothing on social media should portray you in a way that's questionable to anyone. My grandmother and grandfather used to say, don't ever do anything that you wouldn't want to read about in the newspaper about yourself. So if it's okay that someone would talk about what you've done or write about what you've done or have pictures of what you've done, go ahead and do it. But if it's going to embarrass you or your families or do something negative to your reputation, walk away. Matter of fact, run away. One of the things that's really troubling to me as an African-American woman, professional, and mom is this notion of entitlement and cool, I call it. Entitlement and cool. And I had a conversation with a very dear friend of mine just a few days ago who owns a very successful company. She also happens to be an African-American woman. And we were talking about a young woman that I had come to meet who worked for her company. Very, very attractive young woman, college graduate, studying. And I just happened to ask, hey, how is so-and-so doing? And she said, oh my God, that's terrible. Horrible, horrible, horrible. And I said, my goodness, what happened? And she said, well, she certainly is a great writer and she did really well in terms of the work that was given to her, but she couldn't get along with anybody. She created complete havoc in the company. People were constantly complaining about her. Customers were complaining about her. She was just so difficult. The expertise she brought to the company just wasn't working on the product. Just, had to put up. And so the next cautionary tale is that leaders help young people who they like and who they see as receptive to constructive criticism. Employers hire and promote workers who they like and who demonstrate good work ethic and attitude. And it's almost like the attitude comes first. Customers and clients, buyers, they do business with people they like and understand. It just is the way it is. If you have a choice between interacting with someone who's difficult and someone who's and someone who's easy to get along with, who are you going to choose? Right? Everybody up and down the road is the same way.